I'm Joe Duffy, CEO of offshoreinsiders.com. On this video, I'm going to discuss, do odds makers actually try to trap you with the lines? I hear it all the time. Somebody says, it's like they're trying to beg you to bet on side B. I mean, are the odds makers truly trying to trap us into a game? No, I promise you there's never been a case where the odds makers, the bookmakers, are like, we really want the public to bet on the Philadelphia Eagles this week, so we're going to bait them in the betting on the Philadelphia Eagles by setting the line where, you know, the public's going to jump on it. However, there is without any question a handicapping angle in that because, like I always say, most of my systems are counterintuitive. And one of my favorite sayings that is true, it's one of those golden rules or rules of thumb, maybe a golden rule of thumb. I like to say if a line doesn't make sense, it's going to make dollars. And in short, when a line seems to be not quite in tune with the year-to-date statistics, you actually should bet on the counterintuitive side. Now, let me give you an example in the NFL. Home field advantage is worth 3 points. So if you have two evenly matched teams, the home team will be a 3-point favorite. But when you have a road team with fewer wins and also a worse record, in other words, we throw in that caveat because sometimes a team could be on a bye week and maybe, you know, one team's played one more game than the other. So they have both fewer wins and they also do have a worse winning percentage and they're not getting at least 3 points. So in other words, the odds maker is telling you that the team with the worse record is actually the better team. Betting on that road team is 306, 244, and 24. And that's when the public would say the seemingly, at least to them, it is the inferior team. They're not getting enough points. Well, if they're not, again, a line that doesn't make sense will make dollars. We're actually going to go with the quote-unquote inferior team based on the records. And by the way, I have plenty of sub-angles. That's a master angle, but plenty of sub-angles where the winning percentage on this system is even higher. But like I said, that basic theory applies time and time again. Let's take a look at my famed anti-splits. Anti-splits is when we have a team with a worse away winning percentage than the home team's home winning percentage, but the road team is an actual favorite. And it's not just that, there's other anti-splits angles. Essentially, if a road team is terrible on the road and a home team is tremendous at home, you would actually go with the road team. Look, when I first got into this industry, I'll admit, I outsmarted myself. I thought, wait a minute, these are two like Jekyll and Hyde teams. Both of these teams are so much better at home than they are on the road. Go with the home team, right? No. Wrong. Splits almost never hold up, home road splits. When you have an away favorite with a substantially worse road winning percentage than the home team's home winning percentage, going with the road team is 255, 199, and 19. Again, people really, they generally bet. That's one of the great cases where the public outsmarts themselves. They bet on these split angles and they turn out not to be angles. That's what I say. Anti-splits. There are countless examples of this. You know, when I first got in the industry, like I said, I would hear these old cliches. Old timers would tell me there's a message in every line. The odds makers are telling you something. A journeyman handicapper by the name of Oscar Dooley. Look, he's, well, like, fairly nice guy, but he's widely considered to be one of the worst handicappers in history. His winning percentage is literally about 29%, except one situation. Like I say, he's a Dexy's midnight runner of handicapping. He likes to say, gots to be a reason. When a line is counterintuitive, that's the only time he ever wins his plays, when he says gots to be a reason, when a line doesn't seem to make sense based on a straight-up record. You know, in other words, maybe a team's on a 9-game losing streak, and yet they're a favorite, especially if they're a road favorite. The odds makers, one way or another, they're telling you something, and the reason that I've been winning and a professional handicapper since 1988, love to use the odds makers' knowledge against them at offshoreinsiders.com. Now, this is an evergreen video. If you watch this in 2030, it's almost certainly still going to be accurate. But as I enter the 2024-25 season, very excited. I really think this is going to be my best year ever in football. In no small part, after an audit, we're going to weigh our outsource plays a little bit more. For those of you who go back to the score phone days of the 1980s, early 1980s, the 976 lock line, then the super lock line, then on the internet, the master lock line, essentially the best plays from the best handicappers as well as the best pro gamblers out there, I'm going to pass along as what I call outsourced picks. And we're going to be giving probably a few more of those than we have in the past. Also, I definitely have been able to weight and compare my computer sims and the power ratings. I know what the best computer sim is. I know what the best power ratings are out there. We're going to integrate that even a little bit more into our picks this football season. We've been doing it during baseball. All sports. Offshoreinsiders.com is the undisputed place to go. The one-stop shop.